If you're thinking about moving to the Arizona area, I have 10 tips and things you should know before you pull the trigger, and we're starting right now. Welcome back. All right, we are jumping right in with 10 things that you should know before you buy in the Scottsdale, Phoenix, or the surrounding area. All right, let's start with number one. I moved here from the Midwest about 12 years ago, so these are just things that dawned on me as I lived here, and it's just moving to a totally different area, totally different type of trying to learn the lay of the land. So I was just trying to think, if I moved here, what would I want to know? All right, first of all, prepare yourself. It's very brown here. It took me probably 6 months to get used to the coloration of this area. It was like all the houses are brown. We don't have yards in most of the valley. Some down in Paradise Valley, they have yards. But so everybody has rocks. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And I came from like the Midwest. So it's color, trees change color, stuff. It did take a little while. Now, there are times of the year where we get this bright bougainvillea that blooms, very beautiful lantana blooms. The cactuses, the flowers that come out of a cactus will blow your mind. I was like, holy cow, so pretty. It's not like that all the time. Now, number two, to offset the brownness, are the incredible sunsets. They will take your breath away how pretty they are. And the reason that they're so vibrant, the reds and the pinks and the blues and stuff, the reason they're like that is because we have so much dust in our air, and that's what makes them so vibrant. When we have monsoon season, which we'll talk about later, they are probably the best because there is more dust in the air, and they're just, the reds are so red. And that is one benefit for your house, your backyard facing west. It gets a little toasty in the summer, but the sunsets are, if you're only here in the winter, oh my gosh, so pretty. So that's number one and two. Number three, lack of signage. This was crazy for me. And I moved here and I was like, something's weird about here. Like I couldn't put my finger on it. And then I'm like, there's no billboards in Scottsdale. There's no billboards in Scottsdale. In Phoenix, you will see billboards, but in Scottsdale, no billboards, no signage. So you pretty much have to drive into strip mall areas and try and find what you're looking for. Now, having Google search and all that does help more than before, but nevertheless, you'll drive past areas and be like, and try and figure out where is Trader Joe's, where is Whole Foods and all that stuff. Takes a little getting used to until you learn the lay of the land. However, it is nice not seeing billboards also. They don't want to block the beauty of the mountains and stuff like that. That's the whole premise of it. So that part is really nice, but it does take you a little while to get to learn your way around. And the other side of that is people come and they look and they're like, oh my gosh, there is nothing up here in North Scottsdale. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go eat? And then they're surprised. I give new homeowners a list of like nail salons, cigar bars, restaurants, shopping, where it is, to help them, guide them, and let them know that yes, there is stuff up here besides your house. So it is interesting. The setup of your furnace and your HVAC. Your condenser is outside, but your heating element, your furnace, is in the attic in most houses. So that means you just have to be more cognizant of making sure it gets serviced at least once a year. I recommend to blow your condensation lines out. I have a whole nother video on that you can check out. The condensation can build up and you don't want it dripping through your drywall and your ceiling. Not good. 5, we have termites. Yes, don't freak out. I know people that come in here and realize when their home inspection comes in that they have termites, then they flip out. But it's like, there's an old saying, it's like your home either has termites or it's going to have termites. That's like a joke in the valley. Homes are treated when they're built with a protective layer, and it lasts about 15 years, and then after that you're a little bit more susceptible. But there are ways to treat it, and they are very common. Doesn't mean you will get them, but they are very common. So just know that. Number 6, this one's gonna blow your mind. You might not want a pool. Yes, I said it. I did. You might not use it as much as you think for, especially if you are here in the winter, because it's very expensive to heat your pool. Because we have no humidity, and so when you heat it and then at night it gets cool, it does get cool here in the desert, and all that heat just goes right on out and then it's cold again. So unless you keep heating it all night long, and it does take a while to heat your pool, FYI. So if you're having company, it can take 3 or 4 days to get that pool up to 85 degrees. So don't rule out homes that don't have pools. Try living in it without it, see if you miss it, or get one that's you have a community pool. So don't rule out a house just because it doesn't have a pool. You can always put one in. And if you are gonna put one in, I recommend maybe like a rectangular pool so that it's easier to get like an electric cover or a solar cover on it. on and off, because if it's a curvy pool, those solar covers get heavy, and you can buy winders if you don't have the mechanical one. But if it's a curvy pool, it's gonna be really hard to wind that up. So the simpler your pool, the cheaper your pool. There's a fewer things that can go wrong on it, so keep that in mind too. People get all these fountains and all this stuff. All that stuff can break. Our water's really hard here and it clogs all those lines. Just keep that in mind. Number 7. This city is very long. Tempe up to Carefree, you will be in your car for probably 30 plus minutes. It's long. If you would live in Desert Mountain, it can take you 15 minutes just from the gate to get to your house in the back of Desert Mountain. So that is a long drive. So just keep that in mind. Scottsdale and Phoenix run parallel, and the divider line is Scottsdale Road. For the most part, there are some exceptions, but that generally is the divider. On the west side of Scottsdale Road is Phoenix, and on the east side is obviously Scottsdale. All right, number 8, your roof is not your roof. What? Yes, that tile on your roof is really just for decoration. Your real roof is the underlayment underneath the tile. And so the tile is really just there to protect that underlayment. So you wanna make sure it does serve a purpose besides being pretty. You wanna make sure that you don't have broken tiles or slip tiles, that the sun doesn't have exposure to the underlayment, because it'll eat it and wear it down faster. So just something to keep in mind. And then I have a whole video on, if you're buying here, things to look for. So you might want to check that one out, because I do talk about signs that your roof might need to be replaced. Number 9, monsoons. Yes, we have monsoons. And people think of monsoons as like these big wet storms that roll through almost like a hurricane. Quite the opposite. It's actually a giant dust storm. It's like something like out of the Bible. It's crazy. And you can see them coming in. Like they come in, our weather pattern changes during monsoon season. It makes like a backward S, and the weather will actually come from the east, which is most weather comes from the east and goes west. And so you can see, if you're in a higher elevation like North Scottsdale, North Phoenix and stuff, you can see they're more prevalent in the lower areas. That cloud of dust just rolling in. Look it up sometime. It's bananas. And it does hit up north, but they are more prevalent down in the lower elevations. And it's just this brown cloud that rolls through, and you can't see anything. If you get caught in one, you just need to pull off to the side of the road and turn your lights off so people don't accidentally hit you. And then it leaves this disgusting brown filth all over all your patio furniture. So it's still a nice place to live. Everybody gets something. We don't get tornadoes sometimes, but people get hurricanes and earthquakes and all that other stuff. So there's no perfect place to live. And number 10, this is a really nice thing that I discovered while living here, is we are really nicely located. There's so many things to do here, but then in the wintertime, you can head a couple hours north and head up to Flagstaff and go skiing. And then Flagstaff and Prescott and all that's really nice in the summer, because it's 20 degrees cooler to get out of the heat. 4 hours to the south, you can be on the beach in Rocky Point, Mexico, or you can be up in Vegas gambling your heart in 4.5 hours. Or head west. In 5 to 6 hours, you can be on the beach in San Diego, or hit one of those other fun Southern Cal beach towns, Newport, Oceanside, Santa Monica, whatever. A lot of things to do, great little drivability. You don't have to get on an expensive plane flight and get all messed up and waiting in line and flights canceled. You have control over your time schedule. So really nicely, ideally located. So I love living here. If you can't pick that up, I do love living here. So if you have any questions about living in the area, I'm always happy to take your call. My contact information is below in the description, or reach out online or on social media. So thanks so much for watching, and make sure to press the subscribe button if you like the content here, and press the notification bell so you are notified the next time we drop some videos. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it so much, and have a great day.